All right. Good morning. Good morning. Sorry I'm late today. Wasn't my fault. I actually was at a golf outing yesterday. It's been 22 years since my best friend died of leukemia. We've been doing a golf outing for a while. And I literally woke up at 3 in the morning, drove from Long Island. It's crazy. Long Island Expressway is like a raceway. Freaking trucks, this and that. I'm hungover. Made it to the office, got here, got ready for the 6:30 club, and technology was an issue. But anyway, Red Dog is a little tired. You know what? I was taught when I was a young lad. This is. Hold on. Wait, I think somebody ruined this thing. But anyway, I was taught when I was a young lad, and I actually saw some of my old school friends that I used to work with. If you go out with the boys, you got to wake up like a man. That means take care of your business. Get up, get to work. If you can't get up and get to work, or get up and go to school, or get up and practice, whatever you're supposed to do, then you can't be going out. But Mondays are tough. Anyway, it is Tuesday. It is CPI day. The futures are up about 25 handles. People like the news that NVIDIA will be able to sell their chip in China again. So some are extrapolating. Hey, Red Dog could say that's a tough word to say, extrapolating. What does extrapolating mean? It means they're trying to figure out what does that mean. It means that, hey, maybe we're close to a deal with China because there hasn't been many trade deals lately. So anyway, what do we got up here? The bios. Anyway, some laggard sectors have been better, and the XBI is a sector that we played the last. I'm still in it. Long XBI. I'm long XBI calls, and we started really focusing in here on the $86 calls. Remember that? Anybody remember that? Test, test, test. I hope so. Well, anyway, yesterday was buyable. So if you trimmed a little bit into strength, you're able to buy some back and use a tier system and manage the trade. That's what we try and do. We try and manage the trades. So I am still in this one. It looks good. We'll see if it takes that out. And that and the IWM. IWM, we also had a really nice strategy on when it broke this descending trend line. I tell everyone, look for setups, not for tops. There's way too many people trying to find the top, and they've been short for like a month. A month. Imagine you've been short for a month. You'd be hating life, wishing for bad news, and there's no reason to go through life wishing for bad news as a stubborn short. At some point, we might hit top, and at some point, we might correct. But as long as we hold above the 8 and 21 day, which I've been teaching for 20 years, I'm an old dog. 20 years. What do I say? When you're above the 8 and 21 day, you try and be long. You don't try and be short. That'll make you money. Anyway, what do we do here? Held the 8 day. Look at that. Held the 21 day there. That was when I got long the 215 calls for a move to 220 plus. I just never went back to it. I'm trying not to be in too many things. I feel like I'm in so many things, and I don't want to get caught as I, continue to make new higher highs on my P&L for the year. So hopefully you're making higher highs on your P&L for the year. Anyway, what I say yesterday, I said, can the SPYs hold Friday's low and the 8 day? Oh, looky. Held the 8 day. It's been above the 8 day ever since it reclaimed the 21 day, which it's been above the 21 day since April 30th. Have you been long managing positions since April 30th? Or have you been listening to the media and listening to the people who say it's not going to end well and losing a lot of money? Hopefully you've been listening to me. Hopefully you've been listening to guys on the Alpha team. Hopefully you've been following the trend. Hopefully your mind is right. If your mind's not right, you better subscribe to Red Dog Mindset. And if you felt like you were looking for this 6:30 club this morning and you were lost, you better subscribe to Red Dog Mindset because you might not find it in the fall. Anyway, with that being said, look at this nice upper range going sideways. Now we'll see, does it get above and stay above 626.87, which is right here. This is the SPYs up to 80. Listen, if you have a hedge on, it's fine. Hedges help you stay in 20 positions. I think I have 20 positions, including options. That's a lot. So I am down a little bit in my spider hedge, but guess what? I'll live. Because net, I'm very long. But anyway, SPYs look good too. What the Qs do yesterday, the Qs held the 8-day. Look at that. That's a strong trend. Even in front of the CPI that might be a little hot today. Anyway, I told you guys yesterday that I was getting very, very, very small in Bitcoin. We were focused on it at 106, 107 to clear 110, 112. At 122, when the world's getting bullish, I'm a seller. And guess what? Today, I'll nibble some back. I'll nibble some back. Who wants to nibble some back with me? That's not dirty. It's nibble some back. It means like buy a little bit of a dip. Anyway, where is Bitcoin on here? Bitcoin, Bitcoin, Bitcoin. There it is. Oh, what did I say yesterday? I said, look how extended it is from the 8-day. So let's trim some. So I'm very, very small. I don't even have IBIT calls on. If you remember, I was buying the cajonis out of the IBIT calls for it to clear 112, went to 123. Now all it's doing is coming back to the 8-day. So what I will do is I will nibble small. There's a small chance, very small, that it tests this, but I doubt it. So I'm going to buy a little bit back and try not to be perfect, because I was pretty damn perfect yesterday. I sold Mr. yesterday. Did I sell all my Mr.? Yeah, I sold all my Mr. MSTU. There you go. So I'll be buying some back here. What does that look like on the IBIT? No, it's still extended. They sold strength. We were buying the 62s in here. I think I got flat on power plays yesterday too, so maybe we'll roll it up. Anyway, where's IBIT today? IBIT is down $2. Look at that. When everyone gets very loud and you hear it 5 times in an hour, actually, I think it was 10 times on CNBC in an hour, it's usually a buy signal or sell signal. It's a sell signal when all they do is talk about it from the long side. It's a buy signal when you have markets in turmoil and you have the octagon. That's when I put the blood in the street account to work. By the way, my wife told me that they've screwed up at Bright House and they didn't sell the second tier of a blood in the street account. She went to check yesterday, so I'll be selling her blood in the street account and getting it flat. So that was a mistake by their point. But anyway, we bought those twice very nicely. Hopefully you did so too. So anyway, let's move on. What's the news? The NVIDIA. Guess what? Red Dog doesn't own NVIDIA today. People are like, Red Dog, you don't own NVIDIA today. I don't. I bought a lot when it broke 146. I bought a lot when I held the 8-day. I was even in it up until Friday, and I got out on Friday, so I'm not in this gap up. But guess what Red Dog has? Red Dog has SMCI calls on. So I have semi-exposure, but to me, the video was a little stretched. It just wasn't worth it. I almost bought it back yesterday on that dip, and I didn't. So guess what? I don't own it, but I own the $52 calls here. It'd be nice if SMCI could hold 51.70. I think it sees 56. Wouldn't that be nice? It'd be nice if that happens. Anyway, so we'll see that. I am in Amazon still. It's not very exciting, but it's trending higher. I'm making money there. It seems like it's on its way to 228-ish or more. I am still in Google. Google gave you a nice push yesterday, but was out of play. I'm still there. I rolled the options up. I sold it into the strength, and I rolled up options. So that still looks good. Oh, this is a good song. You ever hear this song? Strategically dipped below one eye. Your scarlet was you had one. For all you 80s guys like me. All right. So anyway, this looks like it's going to 188 plus. Apple's been very. Oh, you're so vain. Are you vain? It's not about you. Anyway, I'm a little hungover. Sorry. Oh, wait a second. Are these the wrong? Can you hear this? Is this the wrong? Can you guys hear this? Which is? I have 2 sets of things. Conrad, can we hear? Test, test, test. It says he can hear. This is very confusing. I shouldn't have 2 headsets here. I think the cleaning lady found it. We do have a cleaning lady on the weekends. All right. No wonder why. Did you hear me before? It's the right headset? All right. Anyway. What? They both work? That's weird. We gotta look at that. Anyway, somebody asked me about the drone names. I like this HC. I think this is ready to go. I'm in options. I'm in stock. It's been lagging. I think it fills that gap. I would continue to be buying options. There's some kind of there's whatever it's called, a meeting. No, it's more than a meeting. There's a conference on Wednesday about the drone stuff. So this might get going. Yesterday, by the way, I still had some UMAC on. I only had 25% left after Friday's move. And guess what? You were able to buy the deal price. How awesome was that? So I was buying at 970 yesterday. Anybody buy 970 with me yesterday? Um, oh, I was on the wrong one yesterday. That makes sense. I was wondering because I was like on the right side. I'm like, this is usually on the left side, and I usually have. So when I'm on the alpha team, I got this thing in, so I could hear Michael on my right ear, and I was on the left ear yesterday, and I wasn't even hungover yesterday. It's today. Did you see it on my Instagram? I was doing some food testing. Anyway, so this was a pretty good buy in the hole yesterday. Um, this is I think is still building. I'm still in RDW, filling that gap. So they're probably not going to be in play today because it's a semi day, I guess, with the Nvidia news. But whatever. Remember when I was buying ASTS in the hole? Right here, buying some options, buying some stock. I trimmed a little bit yesterday, but I think guys are saying 75 plus. It's going to be 75 plus. It's got to get above 48, 32, and 54. What a nice move. Anyway, the power of habit, right? ONDS. I'm not going to take credit for that play. I got to say, Jake was all over that. And if you are with Jake, Jake made a lot of money in ONDS. I'll give him that, even though I think he's a little cocky sometimes. Anyway, did I say that? Yes. Oklo. What a nice candle right there. Look at that. You know, it's got some room. There you go. Listen, a lot of things moving around. A lot of things moving around. What else we got going on here today? APP. You down with APP? Ooh, looky. That's tight. Looks pretty good. Very, very hard name, though. Very, very hard name. But I guess sometimes they're very hard until they're not. Looks like you can get above this 32.64. Okay, not so bad. Not so bad. QS has been a big move. My boy Fibonacci's grandson. So there's a guy on the Alpha team. His name is Fibonacci's grandson. Why do you think he was named? I guess his grandfather must have been a market guru because he's the grandfather of Fibonacci. But look at that. Can't get excited now about this. We were buying it in here. You know, he's like, I'm long. Actually, he gave us that's why you want a crew. That's why you want a team because I remember playing this 1,000 times and it was horrible. Then finally, when that news came out on this day, he's like, this is really, really meaningful. And anyway, guys made a ton of money. I'm not in anymore though. Anyway, did you see Kramer new acronym PARC, Palantir app, Hood and Coin? All right. Coin has been great. Coin got on the go-to list right here around actually not 270 when it finally triggered and now it's going. Hood also moved up. I'll be honest, I haven't been that active in those things, which you don't have to be in everything to make a living. When Bitcoin had the move, I was in IBIT, MSTU, and Ethereum, and all calls. So I didn't have Robinhood on. But you hear all those public commercials. I'm an original investor in public. When that thing goes public itself, I'm taking everybody to Sizzler. Remember Sizzler? We're all going to Sizzler if that thing comes public in the next 6 months. Anyway, Baidu's been a pain in the ass. I'm sorry. I thought Baidu had like a day one here, and it sucked. I'm in options, losing money, but I'm in FXI calls too. FXI broke above the wedge. We put it on as a power play yesterday. Also, I do think China. No, did I say that? Who said that? Anyway, it's got some room. FXI's got some room. SGHC, John wants me. By the way, I'm not talking to myself. Some people are like, Red Dog, you're always talking to yourself. I'm not. I swear, I only talk to myself at night, not in the morning. I'm kidding. But anyway, on the Twitter and YouTube, you could hang out with me and talk and ask questions and stuff. SLV, I got out of SLV yesterday, by the way. It was just a trade. I'm just trying to reduce some things. Look at the movement in silver. I had a good sell there. I wonder what it's doing today. I might buy some back if it wants to test this area. Anyway, China, SGHC. What's that? Let's see. Super group limit. I have no idea what this is. I've never even had it up, so that's why you don't see any lines here. If I was going to say when you should have bought this thing right there, boom, and now you're managing the trade into the 8th day. CRWV. I lost money there. I was buying some calls here and it broke below. It happens. It did try and bounce yesterday. I think maybe it tries to get up to here. I'm in CORZ calls, but yeah. What's it doing this morning with NVIDIA up so much? Let's see. NVIDIA's up 7. SPYs are up 250. What's CRWV doing? It's up 6. That's fine. It's fine. Anyway, RGTI is probably up a little bit. All right, guys. It's 7:32. I have 40 charts to make for the Alpha team. I have to do a morning call after doing this. And hopefully you guys are doing well. I post on the weekends, the Red Dog roadmap with all 8 accounts. So this way, when the market's down 20%, you're buying in your Blood in the Street account, but you're also buying in your 401k and 529, getting your average cost. And when the SPY and the Qs are above the 8 and 21 day, which I've written so many ebooks. By the way, I don't write those ebooks. Michael does because I just can't do it. He's like my ghostwriter. Michael makes me look good. But anyway, it's my concept. When you're above the 8 and 21 day, you want to be long names, and we've been above the 8 and 21 days since April 24th. So hopefully you're at the highs of your year. You're enjoying yourself and making some money, and have some fun. You know what? I was at my friend's. I was at a golf outing yesterday. My friend Steven passed away and was 30 years old. Imagine that. That fucking sucks. Cancer sucks. My mom just died of cancer. I don't want to talk about it. I'm going to cry. But anyway, so a lot of my friends from back in the day, you guys know Sal the stockbroker? Sal the stockbroker from the Howard Stern show. He's my boy. We worked together back in the day. He's funny. I'll post a picture. Anyway, I do need some extra iced coffee for me. I'll see you guys later.